Project Express. I'm Spicy Pickle Panda, and it's story time. This story's title is The Tale of the Disappearing Sticker Store. So I'm traveling through this town that I usually travel through quite a bit. There's several sticker stores. There's a couple sticker slash gift, you know where I'm going with this, stores. There's a couple that have been there for as long as I can kind of remember. And then there's ones here and there that kind of open up and then they usually disappear relatively quickly, or they'll last a little while and they'll disappear, or they'll disappear and then they'll come back. But getting to the point, you get the idea. So I'm traveling through this town and I'm going to keep everything kind of on the DL, you know, I'm trying to blow up anybody's spot. But I'm traveling through this town and there's this new storefront and it's next to an already established, you know, like sticker gift store, and the light coming off this place. I should mention, and I should have mentioned, like I seen the day before, there was some like handyman work going in there, and it caught my attention. But it turns out they were putting lighting in, and when I tell you this place, it's unleashing the light of the sun. They weren't putting any kind of like gardening equipment in there. It was just like, I guess, lighting. And it was almost blinding the street. And I'm thinking, oh, I gotta go in there. You know, if they got money to put in this kind of lighting, I can just imagine, you know, what other kind of treats and neat little things they might have, or different displays and products and what have you. So I'm like, I gotta check this place out. So I'm going through town kind of early. It was like 9-ish after. And I stop in just to, you know, check out the wares. I really didn't have any plan of buying anything. I just wanted to check it out. I just had to see, you know, what was going on in this spot. I always see a new spot and I always got to stop. And I go in there and I see they have a bunch of actual like tobacco stuff. And each one of these places always like the blah smoke shop or the blah tobacco shop or the blah gift, you know. It's always something where there's this vague, I was like, wait, there's something else going on there. But when I first got in there, there's all this like loose leaf tobacco or like rolling tobacco and like nicotine vapes and what have you. And I see a couple batteries, and of course I'm approached by the person working behind the counter, and she's like, what are you looking for? And I'm just like, guess. And she, you know, shows me down a little bit, and I mean, their prices were solid. It was almost kind of like shocking. They were like $10, let's say, if not a little more than your average area prices, and I'm kind of all over the little area that I'm in. I digress. It was a lot of like 3 grams too, and like 3.5 grams. I think even saw a 5 grammer in there. I don't want anything over 2 grams. I want to bounce around. I want to like try this. I want to try that. I don't want to be hanging on to something for that kind of time. And the coils usually start to, I blink it out on accident or on purpose a lot. So I mean, I got to get rid of these things for whatever reason it is relatively quickly. But they had that, they had some pre-rolls in there, they had some gummies. I mean, they had like the standard fare that you would see, and a little extra stuff. Like I think they had like some apparel, if you will, like clothes, hats, backpacks, or something like that. But they had a little bit of everything. It was a cool spot, and I seen they had the Luca Bears, their batteries, their 510 thread batteries, and I'm like, I kind of want that, but for whatever reason, I'm not gonna grab it today. So I'm thinking, okay, whatever, and I go along with what I'm doing, because I was checking out some other spots too, and you know, you be thrifty. Don't like, you know, blow your wad here and then not be able to, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. And then when you can easily just come back, they had a stack of them. I felt safe. Cut to next day, and I go in there, same time, or go there, same time. It's closed. I'm like, okay. And for whatever reason, I was like, let's see what the other place is doing. Now, every place gets, you know, different stuff all the time. And I mean, it was literally the storefront's touch. It was right next door. They're closed too. All right, whatever. It's early. I get it. I go and run the errands that I need to. Grocery shopping. Can you relate? Of course you can. Ha ha ha. Doesn't that suck? Moving right back to the story. I go back to the place and still closed. I'm just thinking, man, it's past noon. Like, I get it. You know, when I say I get it, I mean, you know, we're stoners. We're not always on time. But this is a business. Come on. They're freshly opened. They have streamers, like, hanging out front. It's a whole ordeal. And then you're not going to be open. All right, whatever. So, again, I'm like, I'm going to check out the place next door. Now, when I checked the place next door, I wasn't thinking anything. I'm just like, okay, going through the motions. I'm going to open the door and go inside. But it stopped me because it was locked. I'm like, okay, moving on. Go back. So I'm back there and I go to open the door, and right before I go to open the door, there's a lady out front, and she has like a a stroller cart, like something you'd see an older woman, street shopping, like going shop to shop. I didn't think anything of it. And I go to grab the door, it opens, cool. I open it up and I look inside, and it's like a different world. Like, do 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 do. Like, what is going on in here? There's no. Is this. I step back out, like, I got my hand still on the hand of the door, and I'm like, am I in a parallel dimension? Like, I'm looking around, and I look at her, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I look at her, and she pinches her lip at me. And I look at her, and I'm like, and if you don't know what that is, if you're not hip, pinching a lip, I mean, like the, hey, are you cool? Do you partake in the devil's lettuce, the cabbage, if you will? And I look at her, and I'm just, and she points like up, and like gives me the little wave sign, and I kind of deciphered the whole little, I've been around. Like, I knew what she meant. She was like, follow me. It's not there anymore. It's because these places, like I said, like they get shut down all the time, but they'll leave breadcrumbs, let's call them, so you can still kind of find them. You know what I mean? Get phone numbers, probably cards, whatever it is. But I'm just like, no, I'm good, because one, I got my own rules, and one of them is I don't go up staircases, and I don't follow people places anymore. Like, the game has changed. You don't need to do that anymore. And I just, for whatever reason I have, I'm sure you'd have yours. Jump in those comments and tell me why you wouldn't follow a complete and total stranger off the street, up a stairwell into an unnamed apartment by yourself and not strapped. You gonna get robbed or clapped. So, after brushing her off and being like, no thank you, I don't, politely brushing her off, don't get it twisted. I'm not just like, telling her to pound sand or whatever. But I was just like, no, like, I want to go in here, because when I did step in and look, if you can't tell by some of the things that show up in the videos, I go to thrift shops and Salvation Armies and all kinds of stuff like that to buy this neat stuff. I love it. If you love it and you want to see more of it, let me know in the comments from this video, because we're going to be showing off some things that we got after the brief story and we finish it up. But anyway, I drift, man. I'm sorry. I get sidetracked easy. I try to stay focused, and we're back. But I go inside, and there's like DVDs, and they're super cheap, big stack of them. And I'm like thinking, oh, there's VHS somewhere. There's always like one VHS tape lingering around these DVDs. And I'm looking, and I'm like, nah. And I'm like, I haven't pulled the trigger yet on buying DVDs. It's probably going to happen in the near future. We'll get there. But VHS tapes, absolutely. I love that physical media, that old grainy look. But we're getting sidetracked again. And I looked around the room, and they had a bunch of like Buzzes and Woodies, like Toy Story, like the action figures. They had a bunch of them, a bunch of stuffed, Power Rangers of varying sizes. As I'm looking around, and they had like one case in there that was like remnants of what the store once was. Like, there was a couple rolling trays possibly in there. Like, there was just, I don't know, maybe for conversation starters. But the people inside were straight up telling me, like, oh, hey, if you're looking for this, you got to go upstairs. I'm like, no, I'm here for this. Like, I love this kind of stuff. Like, I'm sidetracked, and I'm in here again, and I'm just going, oh, we got to stay on. But what was over in the corner was almost like, it was almost like I turned and it was a movie, and over in the corner it's like an aura, like a glow was coming off of it. And what it was a Hulk Hogan pillow buddy. I personally had one as a wee panda. It was with me everywhere. I was saying my prayers. I was taking my vitamins, working out, doing everything that the man was telling me. But I walked over to it, and I'm just like picking it up, and I'm just like immediately like running all over. Like, my brain's not even functioning. Like, I'm in this mode where I have to get this, and I know what I have to do. I don't need to think. I need to look. Where's the price tag? I'm looking. I can't find nothing on it, and I know it's probably not going to be cheap. So I'll go over to the lady that's like, let's say, stocking shelves, and I'm like, hey, how much is this? $25. And I almost choked, and I was like, would you take 20? Because you always got to try to get that better deal. And she goes, no, they go for 80 on eBay. And I'm just thinking, one, you shouldn't have told me that. Two, here's 25. I was like, I'll take it. I pulled out 25. I thanked her. She's like, yeah. She did not want to sell it. Proceeds to tell me that it was her son's. I was like, well, what is it in here for? Like, you know, if you're not ready to let go of it, that's absolutely fine. But don't put it in here and then, you know, then try to put it out. Oh, it's not for sale, which she did not try that. But still, and I looked around a little bit more, and I'm just like, I spent the money basically that I was going to spend on the battery on this. Yeah, I'm out. And I thanked her again. Again, she was not very happy. And I left, very excited. One other thing I wanted to show off, I think this one. As far as it goes for me in that sticker store, I mean, it ends. I did get some, unless they would come back down and open the storefront up or figure something out. I mean, we did get some cool stuff out of there, and we appreciate them for it. Anyway, like I was saying a minute ago before the phone started ringing, we had to do some clever editing. I was in a Walmart, and the Beetlejuice movie is coming out soon, the new one. And they are re-releasing, of course it's all about nostalgia, and they're re-releasing a bunch of old stuff, and for mentioning the Hulk Hogan, you know, pillow buddy that I had around that age and that time of the Beetlejuice movie and the cartoon. But anyway, they're re-releasing stuff, and they're re-releasing, like, if you remember color forms, they were like slick mats, kinda, where you could like peel and repeal and replace stickers. And with all the nostalgia they're pushing and all the stuff they're releasing, like all the Ninja Turtles that I get and everything else, they're re-releasing the old toys, and they're re-releasing the color forms. And at Walmart they had it for like $20. They had like a new version of the old version, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to get that or not. I might get it in the future. It'll be here. I don't see this being like a hot pushed item. And I decided not to get it, and then I was at a thrift store, like one of those places where people, a vendor mall where people rent out spots, and they you know, leave their stuff, and then they get notified when their stuff sells. But for $2 less, $18, and it is complete, I got the original color forms. And I know it's not showing up on camera here because of the you know, restrictions that are. But when I'm done blabbing and running along, and we're jumping all over the place, I'm gonna at the very end of the video show the Pillow Buddy and the color forms and everything on there and how it's complete. I think I got it all out the way I wanted to. The phone rang and it completely threw me, so if the edits for this are off, I apologize. But yeah, well, let's jump to the Pillow Buddy. Let's jump on the Pillow Buddy. Yeah, great. And show the color forms off. Oh, I also grabbed, is that near? We'll grab the other thing I grabbed too, and we'll show that off. So we'll do like a little haul at the end, and here we go. And here he is in all his glory. We picked up the Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels pillows. Had a different Salvation Army at a different time. But there he is. Had him as a wee panda, and now have him as a adult, quote-unquote adult panda. He does have some stains. I'm thinking about having him dry cleaned. There's that. But for $25, and these go for 80 up on eBay, there was no way I wasn't getting this. That out, maybe we won't, but there he is, man. Yeah. Alright, let's cut out and we'll show you the color forms. And here we go. As you can see, it really is in great shape. As far as I'm concerned, it's complete. I'm not sure if it came with more than one sticker sheet. I had these as a child, Real Ghostbusters one, I believe, specifically that I can remember, that it definitely had, and it only had one sheet, and this has all of it on there. I think I'm going to take a shadow box and make something real nice with it and throw it up on the wall. Here's the other thing I wanted to show off, just goes, a movie cereal bowl. Some people still go to the mall, and I'm one of them. Jumped into, I'm eating it. Jumped into FYE and got this for $10 on clearance. Come on. Here we go. Had to get it. But until next time, this is Spicy Pickle Panda for Project Express, asking you to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified when we post new videos. Peace out.